Today we're going to put some lights, some new floodlights, spotlights, lights on the front of the Jeep TJ. Mom really wanted to have these lights. She saw them on another Jeep and really liked them. So we've got these right here. Now, they can go here, but I think that's too closely spaced because of the size of the lights. And she didn't want anything smaller, and she didn't want square, and she didn't want an LED light bar. So we kind of looked at putting them over on the sides of the bumper, and there's plenty of real estate to do that. The challenge is to get them straight. So I cut a pattern out. I'm going to mark it, flip it over, and then mark it on the other side, and then we're going to drill through and mount the lights. Now, as far as the wiring, it's going to run from the engine bay underneath here, and then it's going to come up right on the edges, I believe, to mount to the, or plug into the back of the lights. Inside the cab, we're going to put a switch, and that switch looks like this, and it should be lit up. It looks like it has an LED in it, so once it's all powered, it should be lit up so you can see it on the dash. And where it's going to go is right here, I think, on this panel, right there on the edge, and that will put the switch right over there, right behind the key area. And there's a nice open space for the wire and the switch to fit right through here. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. And the first thing, I guess, is to go ahead and make sure I get these placed where I want them to be. And then it's just a matter of connecting it up to the battery and putting a hole in the trim piece inside. That's going to be a daunting task. And then switch them on and see how they look. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these, kind of just eyeing where I want this one to be, and then the other one will be the same when I flip this pattern over on the other side. Uniformity is the key, right? I'm going to go ahead and mark my spot once I've got this eyed the way I want it, and then we'll grab the drill and drill some holes. Okay, got the holes drilled. That was pretty simple. Now the lights are set. They just screw in, no big deal. I've left it a little bit loose so I can rotate it side to side, and I tried to aim them down the same way, but that of course can be adjusted as well. Then we've got the wire just set. I haven't wired anything yet, but we're going to wire right up here, and then the switch wire will run over there. And I found a grommet, so I'll be able to bring it through the firewall right here where you can see this yellow cord. It's going to run through right there where you can see that yellow cord, and then up behind the dash here, and right up to where the switch will be right over here. Now, speaking of the switch, I used a step bit to drill the hole for that, and the switch is mounted right here, and then it will plug in the back with the wires, and that will pretty much be it. So a little bit of a problem though, because of the length I have to go from over here, inside, up and over. The wiring was not long enough. So, of course, I've got tons of extra wire laying around. I even found an end, a female end that plugged in, or a male end I should say, into the wiring that will plug into the back of the switch. I just have to extend it a little bit further, to which I have a female end that will plug in, and this is all stuff that I just happen to have, but it will plug into the female end, I guess, there, that will go to the battery. So now all I have to do is connect these three wires to each other, and I'll be golden. And for that, I'm going to use this stuff. This is a solder seal. Love this stuff. You just put the wires together inside the seal itself, if you will, and then use a heat gun or a lighter to melt that little piece of solder you can see there, the little silver piece, and then put some shrink over it, and then I'll be done, at least with this part. All right, took me about 3 hours to do this little project. Of course, I've been filming and taking my time, but it is done, they work, and it came out flawlessly, I think. Let's take a look. You guys can see what it looks like. I think it looks pretty darn awesome with these lights in the front as opposed to up here in the top. It just would have been too close together, I think. I don't think it would have looked good. But of course, you want to know whether they work or not, right? So let's take a look at the switch. I'll show you where that is. It is right inside, right there. Let's see, right here. You guys can see it. Let me go ahead and flip it on. And yep, it lights up. Isn't that cool? And that's the lighting that we get at the moment. They probably need to be adjusted down a little, I imagine, but hard to tell in here. That's what they look like. Pretty good light. It should light up pretty darn bright, I would think, out in the real world. And another thing I like about this, of course, is that when they're not on, the switch is off. That's pretty cool. Anyway, that is the little lighting project for the front of the TJ. Not too difficult to do, actually. Pretty simple, just a little time consuming, and I did have to lengthen the one wire to get it into where I was going to have the switch, but a little bit of solder seal makes that pretty darn simple. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'd be curious to know. And would you have put the lights up here where technically they're supposed to go? I think for this particular application, maybe an LED light bar or something would have been better there than putting round lights. But who knows? Maybe she'll want to do that in the future, or a couple little pod lights or something up there might look good. I think a little square to pay homage to the Jeep might not look too bad. I mean, it's not the most aerodynamic thing in the world. Anyway, that's it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.